Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. If you're old, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to check out Charity of the Month down below. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you know, all the good stuff. Let me start off by saying, first of all, this video took me so long to formulate in my head. I don't know what it was. I have this incessant need to like write things out, and it took me forever to write this freaking video, and I feel like it's not even gonna be that long. Anyway, so I know you guys like babysitting story times. Apparently that's where I got my start. Also, don't mind the hair and the face. I had like my boyfriend had like a work thing that I had to go to, so I'm looking fancy today. I know, don't worry, I'll be back to my ratchet self next week. Just kidding, in my next video probably I'll be looking like shit, so don't you worry. But first I want to say, listen Linda, a lot of people came for me in some of my other babysitting videos and they were like, I would never let you babysit my child. And I can guarantee you that I in fact do not ever want to babysit your child. So before you are offended in the comments about things that happened years ago, let me just remind you that I will never be babysitting your children. I don't want to babysit your children. I'm a grown-ass lady now with a YouTube channel, a job, and I'm babysitting someone else's children. So let's just leave that there. Also, another thing I want to say is, you guys have all seen these children before. They've all been in my previous story times. So go ahead, I will link all the appropriate videos up above, down below, wherever they need to be. Are you ready? Because this shit is so funny. I'm gonna start off with my favorite one, and then I'll do my second favorite one. So that's how this is gonna go. Okay. This story starts with the little boy Noah. Y'all know Noah, he's fucking wild, okay? I babysat Noah every Saturday while his mom was at their older brother's football practice. And Noah at this time is just under 2. He's between 20 months and 24 months. And if you're like, wow, that's a huge age gap, this child is a freaking tank, okay? His older brother, we're gonna call him Drake. May have assigned his older brother a different name in a different video, but I don't remember what I assigned his name is. So in this video, we're gonna call Noah's older brother Drake, and that's that. Drake is 3 years old. So Noah is just under 2, Drake is 3 years old. Their house is wild. Like, they got crazy kids everywhere. I love them, and their mom loves them, but they're a handful. Their mom knows I like to take them out of the house because they're like freaking tornadoes. These children will fuck up every single thing you own. That's why the mom is like, yeah, I don't own anything expensive because my children will mess it up. So she knows that her children will just turn everything upside down and backwards. So I like to just not deal with that. I'm like, let's go outside, let's go to the park, let's go do things that don't involve destroying the house. Like if you destroy the playground, fine. You destroy some other piece of public property, fine. Just not this house because I have to clean that shit up. The mom suggested that I take them to this indoor playground that is local to where we live. This place is like the McDonald's play place on crack. It's like Chuck E. Cheese's older brother on steroids, okay? This place, it's not super big on the inside, but there's just like so much shit going on for the kids to do, if you know what I mean. There's like ball pits and slides and tunnels and nets, and have you ever seen that video where the kid like falls down all the nets and disappears? Like there's that shit there, okay? It's wild. It's like an endless ton of fun for children, and for parents it's just like one massive anxiety attack. But I don't know if you guys have actually been out in public with someone else's children. Anxiety, pure anxiety, it's fucking terrifying because you're scared you're gonna lose them or kill them or hurt them. I was also really nervous because I was scared that everyone was gonna judge me because it was very obvious that I had no fucking idea what I was doing. When we got there, Drake found his friend from his daycare. So the little girl's mom is the daycare owner. So immediately Drake was gone. He was up in the up in the rafters, swinging from the trees, you know what I mean? He was gone. which it didn't really concern me that much because the little girl's mom was a play daycare director, so he knows them very well. So we kind of had like 2 sets of eyes on these kids instead of just one, which really is pristine, okay? Having another set of eyes on children while you're in public that you can trust is really just like top notch. That's some good shit. And there are people and balls and anxiety just flying about in this freaking room. And so how it's set up is there's like 4 or 5 playgrounds, and each of them is its own like McDonald's play gym, okay? Play gym on steroids, and each one has a theme. So I think we were in the jungle theme, and there was like a shark theme, and then there was like a pirate theme. I really would have liked the pirate theme, but they were having a birthday party in the pirate theme one, so we had to go in the jungle theme one, where every single child in the vicinity was at that day. So there were so many freaking people, and like I was trying to find Drake, and I'm trying to find Noah, because like Noah's little and crazy and Drake is big and crazy. Like they're just everywhere. Like these children are everywhere. But it was great because I quickly learned that nobody in that freaking establishment knew what was going on. Nobody knows the correct way to handle these public, crazy, insane children situations. So that made me feel a lot better about my decisions there. Noah, his little barely 2-year-old ass, is running wild through the jungle gym, okay? He like wants to do everything. Like I said, the kid's a freaking tank. Do I put him with the baby stuff? Because like he's like a little bit too big for the baby stuff. He will hurt the babies because he's crazy. He's too little to do all the things that his older brother Drake is doing. So like, what do I do with him? Like, I had to decide if I wanted to crawl through all of the jungle gym with Noah so he could be with his older brother Drake. But I'm like, is that inappropriate? Is it inappropriate? I'm just like being a freaking, what do you call that? A freaking guardian to this child that like needs my assistance. Super overthinking everything, but like I said, nobody knew what the F was going on that place. So I could have probably just done whatever and everyone would have taken it as whatever. And then I even saw like this grandpa with an 11-year-old child who was probably too old to be there anyway. So it was fine. It was all great. I ended up finding like a happy medium. There's this slide, okay? And I tried to send him on the slide by himself, but there are these nets you have to crawl on to get to the slide, okay? I have to go on the nets with Noah so he can go down the slide because it's the only thing he could really do. Like I just had to pull through for my man Noah, so that's what we did. So Noah and I get to the top of the slides, okay? And I'm thinking that him and I will go, like he'll sit in my lap and we'll go down together, but Noah does not want to do that. Like I said, the kid is a freaking tank. So I'm like, it's fine. Like we'll just go down the slides sitting side by side. So there's 4 slides and we'll just take up 2 of them and it'll be fine. Like it'll be the greatest thing ever. We sit at the top of the slide and we get ready to go down. And Noah, being his little 2-year-old self, goes down the slide so fast. So much faster because he's like so much smaller and just eager to get down the slide. Guys, this poor child flies down. I swear to God he caught air because it's one of those bump slides. His little body went down that slide so fucking fast. I was scared for him. And it's not like when he got to the bottom, he just stopped, okay? So when you get to the bottom of the slides, there was a ball pit. And instead of stopping like a normal human body would do, his tiny little body transitions from the slide to the balls and he like flies. It was like something out of a movie. He flies across the ball, lands in the middle of the ball pit, and I'm like, holy shit, I broke the child again. Like he's dead. So I'm scooting down my slide as fast as I can go, and he's kind of panicking, but like he doesn't know if he should cry or not. And I'm like, yay, like it was so fun, like good job. And everyone's staring at me because I almost killed the child, and so I pick him up. I'm like, okay, it's great, we're good, let's do this. Like we're good, bro, like we can do this. I'm like, oh fuck, let's find Drake. So I go find Drake, and as soon as I get to Drake, he starts screaming, panicking, because he's still like up in the tubes and the raptors and whatnot. He's like, I'm scared, because his friend had left him. I was like, it's okay, like I'm right here, like you can come down. And I swear to God, you guys, I've never left a place faster in my entire life. That was so much anxiety. This happened towards the end of our excursion in this jungle gym. We were there, I think we were there for like an hour and a half, which is a long time for the little guys. We were done. They were ready for naps. I was ready for my anxiety to be relieved. Like, we had to get the fuck out of that place. Okay, so this next story happened with the girls Felicity and Madonna. I was staying over there overnight, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna freaking treat myself, okay? Like, I deserve some Starbucks. And the town they live in is pretty small, and there's not really much around. So there's only one Starbucks in town. That tells you how small of a town this freaking town this lady lives in. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's go to the Starbucks. Like, we can handle this. I was thinking that this was going to be a drive-through Starbucks, okay? And much to my dismay, I get to this freaking Starbucks and there's no portal for my car to drive through so they can hand me my shit through a window, okay? Which means I have to get out of the car with these two children. And I wouldn't say these kids are like bad kids, but they're like wild kids. I don't know why I always get the wild ones. Like, the wild ones just love me, right? I'm already committed. I'm already at Starbucks. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know what? Like, we're gonna do this. How bad could making a 10-minute trip to Starbucks be? So I get the girls out, and Felicity is disabled, just as a refresher. She has a physical disability. She can walk. She's just very slow. So we're walking up, and I look 17 if you guys don't know. So I'm walking up, and some fucking white lady is like, and she has two, insinuating that my 17-year-old ass has two children that look nothing like me. And I'm like, damn, you really must be dumb as shit. Just gonna say that. That is just a little bit of foreshadowing as to how this trip is gonna go. As soon as the doors open to Starbucks, these children scatter. It was like light scattering. It was just like, poof, gone. They were into shit. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious, Felicity? I've never, like, the only time this child would ever move fast is when she was getting into shit, okay? She was just gone. Madonna was into shit. She was like touching all the cups, and then she was touching all the candy bars. You know how they have like that key, or that stand of like peanut butter cups and gummy bears and applesauce and blah, blah, blah. She was like going through that and touching all the cups and going to the drinks and pulling drinks out of the, like, the fridge thing, and they were just like everywhere. And I'm like, we've been in here for 30 seconds and I'm already about to lose my shit. So I scoop each of the kids up in my arms, and they're fucking losing their shit, okay? They're just going crazy, and I'm like, this is going so badly already. Like, I could not have predicted that. And the guy in front of me was so nice. He's like, you can go in front of me. And I don't even think I said thank you. I think I just went in front of him. So I went up there and I ordered, and the girl was so irritated, which is so funny because I remember one time when I worked at Macy's, there was this girl and she like wasn't paying attention to me, and I was so frustrated, but she was like talking to her kid, and now I understand. That's fucking karma for you. So I place my order with two wild children. I remember I was just like throwing money. Like, I had money on my Starbucks card on my phone, but I didn't even want to deal with that. I just like put my card in, had both the kids in my arms. I was just fucking so embarrassed. And Madonna had taken an applesauce and threw it up there, and I'm like, fine, get the freaking applesauce. I don't care. And Felicity can't eat. She has a feeding tube, so we didn't have to worry about that. So after I pay, and I didn't say thank you to the gentleman behind me. If you're watching this, thank you so much. You really made my life easier, but I didn't even say that. They probably just think I'm some like unorganized like mom, like 14-year-old mom, you know what I mean? So we go sit at a table, and I put both the girls in their seats. I'm like, okay, we have approximately 3 minutes for drinks to be ready, and we're gonna fucking do this. We're gonna rock and roll, okay? Felicity falls out of the fucking chair because she wants to run around, and I'm like, girl, you are disabled. Like, where do you think you're going? So I have to keep her in the chair, and she's of course like screaming, and Madonna is just like gone. She's making friends. She's like the type of child that will literally talk to anybody, sit in anybody's lap, like guaranteed to get kidnapped if she goes to up to the right person, you know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck, I have to watch her. I have to make sure Felicity doesn't fall off the fucking table. Like, it was just so stressful. Again, anxiety. Like going out in public with children is so anxiety ridden. So finally my drink is ready. I'm like, okay, this disaster is over. Madonna has her applesauce. Felicity is just doing whatever. Like, we got this. And then I realized, holy shit, how am I gonna get out to the car? Because I don't have two hands to hold each of them with. I only have one hand because the other one is holding my fucking Starbucks. But it's okay, guys. We made it through. I made them hold hands while we crossed the street. I flipped off the old lady on the way out and we made it. I'm just kidding. I didn't actually flip her off. But like, bitch, those are not my kids. How old do you think I am? Honestly, I'm gonna go on record and say that was probably the most chaotic trip to Starbucks that's ever happened in the history of ever. So this last story has to do with the little girl Lexi. You guys may or may not remember Lexi, but she's a little freaking spitfire, okay? Like, this child has got the most attitude I'd ever seen on a 3-year-old. And I used to watch her and her sister over the summer while their mom worked in the office. Our typical day kind of looked like me coming over and they either were just getting done eating breakfast or they had eaten breakfast. And then we would play with Play-Doh, and then we would go in the backyard, and then we would come inside. And in the backyard, they would like play in the sandbox or play in the sprinkler. We'd come inside, they'd play like puzzles or read books or just like dolls. They had a ball pit downstairs, which I'll tell you another story later. And then our day was done. So I would normally babysit probably between 4 and 6 hours, but it felt like eternity because I was 13. On this particular day, I was so tired. I don't know what it was. I probably stayed up really late because that's what I do. I stay up like impossibly late. And I just like my heart wasn't in babysitting, but like I babysat, I would say at least 3 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. I got paid $5 an hour. Heyo. So I kind of just wasn't into it. I was kind of aloof, like didn't really, I was just kind of there for that day, you know what I mean? And it was kind of later in the afternoon and Lexi was just, man, this kid was on one today, okay? Like, she is a tough little cookie. She has attitude. She gets cranky. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a tough kid, like, you know what I mean? But she was on one today and I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let them do whatever they want. Obviously within like safe means, blah, blah, blah. And they ended up going outside and playing in the hose, which was pretty normal. The mom even said, I remember her telling me like, yeah, they can go and play in the hose and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the only thing that was different about this day was they had all their clothes on. And I'm like, they're gonna wanna go in like 4 minutes anyway. So I'm just gonna let them get their clothes wet and then we'll change. And I remember this scene like perfectly in my head because it was just one of those things that gets like ingrained into your head. Lexi wanted to go inside. I'm like, no girl, you can't go inside. You're wet. I will go get clothes and we will change. And she's like screaming because she's a wild child. And the mom comes out of her office. It was either for break, she was either done for the day, or she just heard Lexi screaming. She was like, what the hell's going on? And she was pretty mad that the kids were outside and they were wet. It's not like I was like trapped them outside and they're like, you can't come inside. She wanted to go in just for a second. I'm like, no, you either stay outside or you go inside, but you can't keep going in and out of the house. Something like that. I remember the mom was just like, she just was not happy. And she goes and she gets Lexi and she's like, why are they all wet? And it doesn't sound like that mean or like that scary. It is a reasonable question, okay? But she was like a very nice lady. And I was a little confused because like they were always wet and outside. Also kind of like my heart just wasn't there. So instead of like, I don't know, saying something, I just kind of stood there and like said nothing. I mean, it was pretty obvious that they were wet because they were playing in the hose, which is something they do all the time. I think she may have been upset because it was a little bit later in the season, so it wasn't super hot outside, but they weren't like chilly. They weren't like shivering and I wasn't like torturing them. They were just outside and wet. But that's pretty much it for this story. She ended up bringing it up way later and she's like, yeah, I remember that. I was pregnant, which she was pregnant. She ended up having a third baby. She's like, and I was super upset. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, it wasn't a big deal. Obviously I still like babysat her kids after that, and maybe she was just having a stressful day at work and I was just dealing with babies all day and wanted to sleep. So that was pretty much it for that story. Like I said, wasn't too interesting, but yeah. That's pretty much it for this story. Can you believe that? That was so much talking. Anyway, I know you guys like the babysitting stories. I'm going to hopefully do a CARR.com review probably next week. I try not to do too many like I don't want to do too much babysitting stuff in one week, just because I like to mix up my content, you know. I'm still deciding what the third video for this week is gonna be. But anyway, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure to check out the charities for the CARR fire down below. My charities have booked up for the entire till the end of the year. So I've chosen charities through December. So I think you can still submit charities. I've gotten charities through my email, but if you like are really pertinent and you really want this charity and I get multiple requests for it, then I'll try and like fit it in somewhere by the end of the year. They're still open. You guys can still submit an email and talk to me. Like, I love when I get emails and comments and Instagram followers and DMs and all that stuff. Like, I love interacting with you guys. Like, I'm always in my comment sections. I will almost always reply to something meaningful, if that makes sense. But yeah, so make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.